comparison operators. So far, we've seen a lot of different things. We've seen a lot of ways to filter data. We've gained a deeper understanding of and, or, and we recently learned about the not keyword. And with that exercise, what we learned was that we could filter out results that we don't want. We could filter out the age group 55. We could filter out the age group 54 if we wanted. We could do and. But what if we wanted to do a range of ages? What if the question was, well, who over the age of 44 has an income of more than 100,000? Well, now we're in quite the pickle, aren't we? It becomes difficult to understand how to compare ranges with what we've learned so far. Now, for those of you who have done programming before, you may have an inclination towards how exactly we're going to solve this. But for those of you who haven't, all we've seen so far is and, or, and not. And those allow us to specify and target what we want or what we don't want, or alterations with or, we want this or we want this. So now we're getting into ranges. And that's where we use something called comparison operators. And so there are many different comparison operators. And for those of you who are accustomed to programming, you may already know these. You see, comparison operators, they allow us to check, is it greater than or less than? Is it equal to or not equal to? And so here I've listed all of the different comparison operators you can use. So let's get into the deeper understanding of each of them. When we look at the equal to sign, we're saying check if given values are equal. If it's equal, the condition will be true. 0 is equal to 0 and mo is equal to mo. That one is very basic. This one we've used on many different fields. And in essence, what it allows us to do is just check equality. Then we go into not equal to. Well, that is check if given values are not equal. If it is not equal, the condition will be true. So we have two ways of writing this. 0 is not equal to 1, or 0 is less than greater than. This is a special syntax. Syntax meaning a special way of writing it down. You could use this. I prefer this method because it reads more clearly to me personally, but this is another way of writing it. 0 is not equal to 1. That is also true. So not equal to allows us to check that things are not equal. Now, how does this differentiate from the not keyword? Well, in essence, they kind of operate the same way, but comparison operators are often most used for number comparisons. When you're comparing text, what you get into is weird things where it may not always give you the right result. And so not equal to as an operator can operate roughly the same way as the not keyword. Now, looking at greater than. Check if a given value is larger than the other value. If it is greater, the condition will be true. So 10 is greater than 0. That is, of course, true. 0 is greater than 10. Well, we all know that 0 is smaller than 10. So that's false. And here we can see a text comparison with greater than. So with not equal to, it operates the same as the not keyword. But let's say you use greater than with text. Well, ABC is greater than ACE because A and B are ahead in the alphabet of A and C. And so it goes in alphabetical order. Well, is A greater than A? No, they're equal. Is B greater than C? Yes, you won. That's kind of how string comparisons work with greater than and less than. Not really ideal unless you're trying to compare the alphabet, I guess. So we get into less than. Check if a given value is smaller than the other value. If it is less, the condition will be true. 0 is less than 1. That is true. Greater than or equal to. So we looked at this one. Check if a given value is larger than or equal to the other value. If it is greater or equal, the condition will be true. 2 is greater than or equal to 1. That is true. 2 is greater than or equal to 2. That is true. If we put a 3 here, that would have been false. Less than or equal to. Check if a given value is smaller or equal to the other value. If it is less or equal, then the condition will be true. So 0 is smaller than or equal to 1. That is true. And 1 is smaller than or equal to 1. That is also true because it is equal. It is not smaller than, but it is equal. If we put 2 here, it would have still been true. If we had put 0 on this side, it would have been false because 1 is not smaller than 0. So it really depends on what end what number is. If we had put 0 here and 1 here like we did here, of course it's true. If we had swapped them, 1 is not smaller than or equal to 0. 1 is larger than. So we're really getting into it. These comparison operators, although simple in their task, are powerful in their outcome. Well, always reach back to this overview I gave you. Screenshot it, snapshot it, keep it close to you because these operators are of vital importance when comparing numbers. Now, let's get into some exercises.